the Stanley Cup. Monday night.
That was June 17th, 2006, 3,952 days ago. The last time the Edmonton Oilers played a home playoff game at Rexall Place. Of course, we're inside Rogers Place now as we bring you into Oilers TV playoffs presented by Sport Chek. Tom Gazzola alongside Jack Michaels from the Oilers Radio Network. And Jack, I know that was during your time in Alaska, correct?
Absolutely. About a week and a half after the Aces had won their first ECHL championship, actually.
And you were watching that game, I'm assuming?
I was watching the game. I think I had the Kelly Cup, which was the ECHL championship trophy, and I had my then 2-year-old daughter, Callie, sitting in it. So, and Tyler, my son, had yet to be released. So that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, almost 4,000 days. And here we are finally, for you and I, selfishly, I mean, this is our first taste of playoff action covering it. We've been here essentially since the same week, 7 years. It's been quite the process, but what's your sense of the mood and excitement going into this game one here?
Well, it's just as much about the city as anything else. I mean, and that's what's been key for the Edmonton Oilers down the stretch is building that home ice advantage. I think it's been a steady improvement in atmosphere and the Oilers team play here at Rogers Place over the last 3 months of the year. Now they go in on a club record 9-game home winning streak. They've won 12 of their last 14. In short, Tom, they've got the city buzzing because they're playing as well as any Oiler club has played since that magic 2006 run. And certainly in the regular season, probably, I mean, the superlatives go back 30 years.
Right. Well, I've got some stats to throw out your way, and I just want your thoughts on what you think of these. Okay, we'll start with the playoff experience. The Oilers have 342 games of playoff experience on the roster. Now, we're going to get into the Oilers roster, but if you take away Matt Hendricks, which it looks like he won't be playing, that all of a sudden shrinks down to 308 games, whereas the Sharks have just under 1,200 games of playoff experience.
They do, but some of those Sharks players are a little bit compromised. I know we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on in terms of their injury situation. And the Oiler with the most playoff games experience, Milan Lucic, might be playing as well as anyone not named Connor McDavid over the last month and a half of the season. I mean, he enters the playoffs on a real roll. When Edmonton last matched up with San Jose, he almost single-handedly won the game. Won a fight, had a big hit, natural hat trick in the third period, brought Edmonton back from a 2-1 deficit. Otherwise, Tom, you and I would be recording this at the Shark Tank instead of Rogers Place. I think home ice is going to be huge in this series. Both teams were not quite as good away from home as they were at home, and Edmonton's win last week at San Jose, keyed by Lucic,
absolutely,
is the reason why they get the home ice.
I'm glad you bring up the home ice because when the Oilers start a series on home ice, all time they are 17-7.
Now, of course, that goes all the way back. They haven't started a series on home ice, correct me if I'm wrong here, since 1990. I mean,
correct.
That's the last time the Oilers finished in the top 10 in the league. That's the last time they opened a series at home. So you're talking about 2.5 decades worth of buildup. And I know that, look, if there's a second and third round series, it's going to be building up. But I can't imagine the atmosphere in here tonight.
Very well said, Jack. Let's go to the Oilers locker room for some pregame clips.
It's going to be bumping. The whole town is going to be bumping. I mean, when we clinched against LA the last couple of minutes there, just give me goosebumps. I mean, it's going to be an unreal feeling, a really nice atmosphere tonight.
You know, just keep doing what we've done all year that's given us success and have fun with it. You know, don't get over anxious, don't get over excited. Just go out there and play your game and let everything take care of itself.
In fact, I don't know how many players are left over there, but they understand our tendencies as a coach. They know our language. They know some of the things that we'd like to do. So I would say any advantage we have is negated by their knowledge of us as well. So I don't think it'll be a big issue at all in the series.
All right, so there you have it. Oscar Klefbom, Milan Lucic, and, of course, Todd McLellan chatting prior to Game 1 this morning. Now, when we take a look at the roster for this game, the games have begun, if you will, between the coaching staffs, not really wanting to tip their hand as to who's going to play, what's going to happen, what situation the other team might face. However, on Tuesday at Oilers practice, Jack, we saw some guys wearing different colored uniforms, which we didn't see all season. And that, of course, was Matt Hendricks, Jujhar Khaira, Anton Slapyshev, all wearing gray uniforms. What would we assume out of that?
Well, I think we have to assume that Eero Puckarinen is going to draw in as your fourth-line right winger with Benoit Pouliot and David Desharnais. Drake Caggiula has played his way up into the lineup, and so really has Zach Kassian. So Mark Letestu, is going to center basically a third line to start the postseason. I know most people are thinking, well, he's normally kind of been that fourth-line guy. But, again, there's been some elevation in the games of – really, Kassian's been so consistent all year. Drake Caggiula's starting to really come into his own here down the stretch, and it started with that game-winning goal he had against Colorado. On the back end, I look for Eric Greiba, at least in Game 1, to draw in with Matt Benning kind of waiting in the wings.
Okay, that does it for the Oilers side of things in Part 2. Jack and I take a look at the San Jose Sharks.